Not everyone was meant to find this, but you did. That means something. Not everyone was meant to find this, but you did. That means something. Out of millions of videos swirling through this digital universe, this one landed in your reality right now. That's not coincidence. That's calibration. That's the quantum field responding to your frequency. You've already passed the test that 99% never notice. They scroll, they chase noise, they numb. But you paused. And in that pause, something shifted. Your breath is deeper now. Your chest softens. Your nervous system starts to listen. And inside you, dormant codes begin to stir. This isn't just another mindset video. This is resonance. This is neural reconfiguration. This is the field rearranging itself in real time. Because you showed up. Scientists used to think change came from massive effort. But now we know it begins with awareness, tiny shifts, micro awakenings, new perceptions that ripple through your entire reality. And here you are, still listening, still holding space, while most have already moved on. That means something is awakening in you. You're about to remember what the world made you forget, the hidden machinery of your mind, the secret moves your subconscious made before you even decided, the 94% of life-changing doors your brain once slammed shut just to keep you safe. But now the locks are loosening. Right here, right now, with every heartbeat, you're rewriting the field. You're not just hearing this, you're programming this into your electromagnetic broadcast, because the heart speaks louder than thought, and your heart is listening. A frequency is forming now, one that pulls in aligned souls, strange synchronicities, and experiences that were waiting for you all along. This moment, this message, was never random. It's a magnetic echo, a collision point between your consciousness and the mind of the universe, whispering, now, you're ready. You didn't stumble into this video. You were summoned. Your soul recognized the signal. Your unconscious whispered yes long before your conscious mind knew why. This isn't just content. It's a mirror held up to your higher self, a catalyst wrapped in pixels and photons, a sacred reminder. You're not here to watch. You're here to awaken. The voice nudging you forward right now, that's not motivation. That's your destiny reclaiming you. And as you move through this transmission, you'll begin to see the invisible scaffolding, the thought loops, the quiet fears, the decisions you didn't know you were already making. You'll see the blueprint, and you'll realize it was never locked. You just hadn't looked. But there's something you must confront, and it's not out there. It's here, this moment, because time doesn't wait. It doesn't ask. It doesn't apologize. It flows with or without your readiness. You can try to stall, but time keeps moving. And while it moves, it shapes you, consciously or unconsciously, with clarity or confusion. Right now, you're casting votes. Every breath, every belief, every I'll wait, every maybe tomorrow, is a fork in your timeline. And what you choose chooses you back. There are two roads, one paved with bravery, lined with expansion, lit by that spark in your chest that says, more is possible. And the other, it's soft, comfortable, safe in appearance, but slowly sinking, weighted by what-ifs, echoes of unlived lives, and the quiet ache of never trying. Truth is, destiny doesn't arrive someday. It doesn't need permission. It doesn't wait for the stars to align. It activates the moment you say, I'm done waiting. Every choice you make is a chisel stroke against the architecture of your reality. Most don't realize they're building a prison until they've already sealed the door shut. The greatest tragedy? Tomorrow is the most seductive lie ever told. It always promises ease, but it only delivers delay. Perfection is the mask procrastination wears. The right time is just fear with good marketing. This is the preparation paradox. The longer you wait to feel ready, the less likely you are to begin at all. Your mind says, plan more, learn more, wait until you're 90% sure. But the universe moves on motion, not mastery. The ones who leap at 70% certainty are the ones who ride the wave before it's gone. Just like compound interest, the cost of delay multiplies. Every opportunity unclaimed, every gift left unopened, doesn't just disappear, it decays your potential from the inside out. You've seen this. In the friendships not pursued, the talents left dormant, the moments you knew you were meant for more, but chose silence. You are not here to live a muted life. Confidence isn't a package that gets delivered. It's built in motion. Those you admire, they began scared. They began underprepared. They began anyway. Because readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. To evolve is to leave behind who you once were, to shed the skin that no longer fits the future, to let go of the ego that whispers, stay small, stay safe, stay still. Your mind is doing calculations even now. Should I lean in or scroll past? Should I rise or return to the lull of distraction? That question is the doorway, and this moment, this breath, is your answer. You don't need another sign. Your presence here is the sign. You don't need to wait for perfect timing. That illusion has kept empires unborn. Because while others prepare forever, the ones who act, create. And now you stand before the field of infinite timelines. This very second contains 1,000 lives, and only one choice will write the first line of the version you came here to live. The universe is heavy with waiting wonders, opportunities, synchronicities, miracles, but they are not handed out like prizes. They are unlocked by your decision to step into the unknown. Most remain shackled to yesterday's regrets or paralyzed by tomorrow's illusions. But the place where life is actually rewritten is here, now. This breath, this choice, the past, a ghost you keep feeding, the future, a canvas still untouched. And this moment, this sacred, ordinary moment, is your brush. You didn't arrive here by accident. This message found you precisely when your consciousness cracked open wide enough to receive it. And if you're still listening, you can feel it, can't you? That tremble in the air, that soft pull in your chest, that whisper of something ancient saying, pay attention. But to rise, you must face the oldest enemy you've ever known, your own inner narrator. You know its voice well, the one that speaks in your tone, that calls itself realistic, that says you're not ready, you'll fail, you don't have what it takes. But that voice isn't truth. It's a compilation of old wounds, fragments of forgotten criticism, replays of moments you were too young to defend yourself. It pretends to protect you, but only keeps you small. And yet, every time inspiration sparked, every time you dreamed bigger, it showed up, quiet, rational, just loud enough to make you wait. And in that tiny pause, potential died. Not with an explosion, but with a sigh. This is how lives shrink. Not by catastrophe, but by 1,000 hesitations. But here's what only the awakened learn. You have 5 seconds. From the moment your soul whispers go, you have 5 seconds before the voice returns, before doubt rewrites the script again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move. Not someday, not when it's easier, not when you're more prepared. Now. This is not just about action, it's about allegiance, a vow to your future self, a quiet rebellion against your fear. A moment where you say, no more delay, I rise. Because every breakthrough, every destiny-defining shift begins not with a giant leap, but with a silent, holy yes whispered in the space between fear and freedom. Fear wears many masks. It doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, dressed in logic, cloaked in maturity. Be practical. Play it safe. Wait until you're ready. But those who rise don't wait for certainty. They move. While the fear still trembles in their bones, they don't have less doubt. They just refuse to be ruled by it. They understand. Action creates clarity. Motion births confidence. Progress requires no permission. Every expert was once a disaster. Every trailblazer once stumbled in the dark. They didn't feel prepared. They just chose to begin. Because here's the secret most never learn. You don't have to feel ready to be ready. The path reveals itself only when you walk it. You can't learn to swim by reading. You can't master life by waiting. Real growth is messy. Real mastery is chaotic. And real change demands motion. You were taught to prepare endlessly, to know before you do. But transformation flips that script. Do, then know. Move, then understand. Leap, then build wings. You will never eliminate risk. But you can override the voice that demands perfection. That voice, it's ancient programming. Its job is survival, not greatness. And yet, you were born for greatness. Not someday, now. Everything you need to begin is already inside you. Not when you're richer, not when the economy stabilizes, not when others finally believe in you. Now, exactly as you are. You are not broken. You are not missing something. You are not late. You are whole. You are ready. You are enough. That voice inside, the one that once kept you small, you can thank it for its service and step beyond it. Because the most successful among us don't have fewer doubts. They just have a different relationship with doubt. They don't treat fear as a stop sign. They treat it as a compass, a signal they're stepping into territory worth claiming. The version of you that changes everything doesn't need to be invented. It needs to be remembered. It's already here, beneath the apologies, beneath the conformity, beneath the silence. This version of you doesn't shrink to fit rooms. It doesn't ask permission to burn. It doesn't beg for validation. It builds its own stage and speaks anyway. This is who you've always been. And now, you remember. Your power was never tied to your past, not your background, your bank account, or your degrees. It was never locked behind a circumstance. It was always waiting on one thing: your decision to access it, to trust it, to move from it. The ones who rise highest are often the ones who've fallen hardest. The greatest legacies were built from rubble. The most radiant victories were born from the deepest wounds. Your struggles, they weren't delays, they were ingredients. Raw material for greatness, training for the terrain ahead. Nothing, and I mean nothing, has been wasted if you choose to use it. Before you build your future, remember this. Potential isn't something you discover. It's something you wake up. It's not in a book, not in a guru's program, not hidden in someone else's story. It's been inside you, quietly waiting to be chosen. Fear-based living, it teaches you to survive, to shrink, to keep things just safe enough. But purpose-driven living, it invites you to create, to contribute, to play the game like you were born to win. You've already survived everything that tried to break you. You're still here, still dreaming, still reaching. That's not weakness. That's indestructible strength. You have a perfect record of surviving your worst days. That's not luck. That's evidence. The ones who shift the world don't wait for clarity. They don't demand guarantees. They walk with blurry vision and bold hearts. They trust their inner compass more than the outer storm. While others wait, they build. With what they have, where they are, exactly as they are. And when you do this, you stop begging the world for permission. You stop needing proof before believing. You remember, you already hold the key. It's been in your hands all along. That key, it's your ability to decide. Every single day you're making choices, most unconsciously. But what if you made them with intent? You can choose to shift from fear to faith, from excuses to execution, from waiting to walking. And with each choice, a new reality emerges, brick by brick, belief by belief, until the life you once imagined becomes the life you now embody. Pause here, breathe, let it sink in. You've been looking for the power out there, but it was never in them. It was never in someday. It was never in someone else. It was always here, in you, in your yes, in your next move, in your refusal to wait any longer. The most successful people aren't the most connected, the most prepared, or the most polished. They're the ones who stopped waiting and started building with whatever they had, wherever they were. And you already carry everything required to begin. A mind that learns, a heart that endures, a spirit that rises, hands that can shape the invisible into form. But there's more. Something only you hold. A pattern of experience so unrepeatable, it exists nowhere else in the universe. Your scars, your wins, your failures, your strange combinations of strength and softness make you a once-in-history event. This isn't some spiritual cliche, it's mathematical fact. You are, statistically speaking, irreplicable. And that means you see things no one else sees. You solve problems in a way no one else can. You carry pieces of the puzzle that complete the world's design. But if you don't place your piece, the pattern remains incomplete. Not as pressure, but as invitation. You weren't asked to be perfect, only real, only ready to decide. Because here's the line that separates the awakened from the waiting: decisive action. Everything before this was potential. Words, energy, insight. But unless it becomes motion, it dissolves into memory. You've made it this far, and that alone makes you different. Because most stop long before this moment. They get inspired, then do nothing. But you've been listening for something. You're not here by accident, and your soul knows that. So now comes the question. What will you do with this clarity? The step doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be brave. It just has to be real. A conversation, a commitment, a choice, even just a shift in posture. Because action, any action, is how you rewire reality. And while you wait for perfect conditions, someone else is creating your dream life with imperfect steps. The only moment that matters is this one. Not yesterday when it's closed. Not tomorrow. It's vapor. Only now breathes with possibility. Only now bends timelines. Only now reshapes the path beneath your feet. Your future self is watching you now. 1 year ahead, 5 years ahead. They're waiting, hoping you'll be brave, praying you'll say yes, trusting you'll choose motion over meaninglessness. What will they thank you for? Will they whisper, "Thank you for moving when I almost gave up"? Thank you for ignoring the fear? Thank you for remembering who we really are? Or will they look back and wonder, what if I had acted that day? What if I hadn't let hesitation win? What life might have unfolded if I had said yes? This is the fork, right here, right now. And only one direction leads to freedom. Some will choose comfort over growth, certainty over possibility, the safe path over the path that leads to transformation. But you're standing at the crossroads now, and your future self is watching. They remember this exact moment, this message, this stirring in the soul. They remember how close they came to saying yes, and how quickly hesitation turned into years. They didn't fail spectacularly. They simply waited. And waiting became a habit until the spark dimmed and the door quietly closed. But that doesn't have to be your story. This isn't fear. This is urgency, sacred, focused urgency. Not the rush of panic, but the fire of realization. Time is the one thing you never get back. And your future isn't hypothetical. It's already forming from today's choices. Every belief you reaffirm, every excuse you repeat, every dream you delay becomes the foundation your future stands on. But there's another path, a path where you choose movement, even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if it's not perfect, because action creates clarity. You don't wait for the fog to lift. You walk through it, and as you walk, the path reveals itself, step by step, like headlights in the night. You don't see the whole road and just far enough to keep moving, and that is enough. Because the moment you move, the world moves with you. People appear, doors open, opportunities blink into existence, because you stepped out of hiding. This isn't magic, it's physics, it's vibration, it's quantum cause and effect. Your frequency shifts and the field rearranges. Today, right now, you can start the path your soul has been aching for. It won't be easy, but it will be true. It will stretch you, but it will fulfill you, and you won't be alone. Because as you awaken others. When you share transformational truth, you amplify its power. You remind others of what they forgot, You create ripples that echo beyond you. Not just information, but activation. Not just content, but consciousness. You were meant to find this, not by chance, but by resonance. Consciousness called to consciousness. You answered. Now go become the one you were born to be. Not someday, not when it's convenient. Now, because only you carry the code the world is waiting for. Only you can bring the frequency the collective is missing. Your gift is not optional. Your time is not later. Your transformation starts with the very next decision. So choose. Choose presence. Choose power. Choose purpose. Choose now. Comment below, I choose now, to declare this turning point. Subscribe to anchor this frequency and awaken alongside others. Share this message, not just to inspire, but to expand collective awakening.